On Thursday, John O'Leary spoke at the AAIM Leadership Conference at Westport. At age 9, almost all of his body was burned in a fire. Jack Buck was his inspiration. The movie about this now international motivational speaker will be released in the fall.
This Sports Plus conversation is sponsored by your Quality Ford dealers. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years.
Soul on Fire is going to roll out October 10th. At the end of that shooting, when Sean McNamara says, "That's a wrap," what were your emotions like?
Well, I think the very first thing we did, Frank, was we went to Humphreys. And we set back a beer to celebrate not just 5 weeks of shooting, but 8 years of development around this, and then 37 years leading up to it. So it was a very long, difficult, painful, joyful journey. We toasted afterwards. And then that evening we went out and celebrated with Sean McNamara, all the actors, all the crew, and celebrated their work.
Actor Joel Courtney plays the role of you. Did you insist it had to be a really handsome guy?
Yeah, I mean, good looks are obviously a priority for me if they're going to portray John O'Leary, the life story. To be honest, with all the actors, what mattered more than their looks is their character. Joel Courtney is a good man. And as you go through all the actors who portray people in the film, every one of them is better than the next. So we were lucky to get Joel Courtney, and we were lucky to get all the other folks that participated in the film.
So you have William Macy playing Jack Buck, and I understand from everybody somewhat involved, he nailed it.
He became Jack Buck. Now you and I and our friends who listen to our conversation, we know Jack's voice so well. So his voice is a little different because that's a different thing to nail. But what he nailed was the mannerism. You know how when Jack Buck walked, he kind of floated. Like I wear pants, Jack Buck wore slacks. So William H. Macy's slacks just kind of floated into the hospital scenes and onto the AstroTurf at Busch Stadium too. And he played him beautifully with a little bit of passion, but a lot of love and a zest for the one in front of him. Well, Bill Macy did an incredible job with Jack Buck.
For the people who don't know it, your first encounter with Jack was?
So I got burned on January 17th, 1987. Was expected to die. That evening as I'm laying in a hospital bed, the door opens up from the outside. Jack Buck walks in, sits down next to me. I don't know that at the time because my eyes are swollen shut. But any kid growing up in the mid-'80s in St. Louis would recognize that voice. So I heard the voice of Jack Buck say to me, "Kid, wake up, wake up. You are going to live, keep fighting. John O'Leary Day at the ballpark will make it all worthwhile." So that's my very first encounter with Jack Buck. If it had stopped there, it would have been enough. But one of the cool things about Mr. Buck is he decided to do more, came back for another day and then another day and guided me through that 5 months in hospital.
And then he gave you his Hall of Fame baseball.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
When I was 22, Frank, it meant I had to find a safe spot to hide this so my roommates would not steal it. That's what it meant at first, because I wasn't sure what to do with generosity like that. So I buried that ball for about 10 years. I never told anybody I got it, never told anybody else what it meant. In time, after Jack Buck's passing, I recognized now fully how much it meant to him, how much it means to give away a priceless heirloom like that to someone else might mean.
You had a really emotional post on Facebook recently about one of the early times your son came into the bathroom and you did not have your shirt on.
Yes.
And he saw the burning and the way he handled it with so much love.
Yeah. So one of the things about John is, the suit covers up all my scars. So you don't see the majority of what's wrong with me. I do in the mirror. And so I see that one day while I'm shaving, my little 5-year-old Jack, by the way, the name.
After him.
Jack Buck. So Jack walks in, starts tracing one of my scars with his index finger, and I'm assuming he's about to say, "Dad, what's wrong?" And instead, Frank, he says, "Dad, your tummy is red, it's bumpy, it's ridgy," and I love it. I love it. So you're right, man. I think oftentimes kids see beauty where we see broken.
Nobody should have to endure the trauma that you had to go through as a young man, but are there ever parts of you, are there ever times where you think, "I was blessed because this is what God wanted me to do to inspire others"?
Right. I was speaking in China one time, and an Australian asked the question, "Would you do it again, mate? Would you blow out the candle or would you let it burn?" And I responded to him as I will you, like, "Man, I wouldn't change a thing. undoubtedly we have been through and sometimes still do endure great pain, struggles physically and emotionally. But that pain has led you and I to be together today. It's led to where I am in my family and in my faith journey. It's led to 2,700 speeches around the world, 2 books, a film that's going to come out internationally called Soul on Fire. That's not me. That's not an easy life. That's God working through struggle. And that's true not only in my case, but in all of our cases.